Hello there, Taurus. Welcome to your tarot reading. The first image here that I saw is I see these two little kids. One's a boy and one's a girl. They look around the same age, they're the same height, and there is a teddy bear in between them. And they're like fighting over this teddy bear. They're just kind of like, pulling at it, tugging at it. One kid wants it all to herself. The boy then tries to snatch it away from her. They're tossing it in the air, trying to get at it. And then the adult comes into the picture, picks up the teddy bear, holds it over his head, out of reach of the children, and then he puts it on the shelf. So that's the image here that I'm seeing. And what I feel is some of you might be called into a situation where you are going to have to play mediator. Okay. And I feel like the people that are around you, either in a work environment, either in a home environment, they could be a little bit more on the childish end. Okay. So physically, they might be adults, but behaviorally, they might behave in a very self-serving or in a very immature way. And it's just you are called in as sort of like that mediator, the voice of reason, where you're kind of putting your foot down and you're telling them, if you're going to behave like this, then none of you get the benefits. Okay, so I feel like you're called in to kind of like resolve a situation or called upon to kind of like put an end to a situation. Okay. And I also feel this element as well, where this could be you in a situation where you're kind of butting heads with a very significant person in your life. Okay. And what I have is I'm seeing this situation. This is you where you are not really budging from your standpoint. Okay. It's sort of like you are dealing with somebody who might exhibit this energy, or this is the energy that you exude, where both parties are very, very, very stubborn, and both parties are just keeping their cards close to their chest, not revealing themselves, and not wanting to kind of compromise. For some of you, you might be dealing with an air sign. So I have here Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra. And then for others, you might be dealing here with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or a Scorpio. And what I'm feeling is this. There's something that is kind of like at a standstill. Something is being put on the shelf. So it's sort of like, okay, let's revisit this argument. Let's revisit this situation. Let's revisit this conflict, or even this situation where there isn't really a clear solution. Let's put it on the back burner. Let's put it on the shelf and resume other things until we actually have time to talk things over, to mull things over, and can reach a solution. Okay. So I feel like you're putting you're putting some important discussion or important conversation, or trying not to aggravate a potentially conflictual situation by putting the situation on the back burner, and that you can revisit it another day. Okay. For those of you who are dealing with an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, I feel like you want forward movement with this person. I have here the Chariot. Some of you might be wanting to come visit this person. For some of you, this person might be wanting you to come visit them, or might be wanting to come visit you. And I almost feel the situation where I'm sensing that there is a lack of trust, or a lack of the ability to know where the other person's coming from. So I see you as a little bit more like cautious, a little bit more methodical when it comes to how you communicate with this person, what you want to say to this person, and the information that you want to reveal to this person. And I'm getting like this message about, one step at a time. I'll show me yours if you. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Thinking and communicating almost in a very, very methodical way, and not wanting the other person to, I guess, like get the upper hand. So there's a big element here about, not being able to trust, or not being able to feel like you can trust somebody 100%, where you don't want to reveal your cards and you're keeping things very, very much close to your chest. Okay. For those of you who are dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or a Scorpio, I feel like this might be somebody that you are in a relationship with, okay? I have here the Prince of Cups. So this is water energy with the Ten of Cups. This is the family card, okay? The house, it's like the cottage, the picket fence, the two kids, the SUVs in the driveway. So what I feel is, for some of you, you might be in a relationship with this person, this water sign. And I almost feel like you're trying to fix things. So if you have been having a lot of conflict, a lot of like, ideological differences, a lot of like not being able to see eye to eye. And I feel almost like you're trying to appease this person. You're trying to find ways to dodge or navigate the energy around this person so that things don't descend into more conflict, so that you can restore the peace and the harmony and things like that with this person. I almost feel for some of you, there's almost a situation where it's like a long-standing relationship that has been kind of like, how you've been with somebody for too long, and you're too comfortable with one another, and the relationship has gone a little bit stale, and you don't even know, and you're questioning possibly the direction of the relationship. Are we still headed in the same direction? Are we still moving in the same direction? Are we still wanting to stay together? And I see like you're doing some serious reassessment as to the viability of the relationship moving forward. Okay. I'm also feeling as well, this is a person that requires a little bit more from you. They require you to open yourself up a little bit more emotionally to them. They're feeling possibly like they have been Ten of Wands. They feel like they're putting in a lot of time, resources, energy into this relationship, and they want you to chip in more. They want you to, help them out. They feel a little bit emotionally either isolated or alone, or they're giving so much of themselves physically and emotionally, and they want you to kind of like step up and meet them halfway. And I just feel like at this point, you're assessing the situation, and you're also wondering, like, am I able to give any more of myself? Do I still want to be in this relationship, or do I still want to be in this situation? And is it possible for me to step in? So aside from that being a love romantic partner, I feel like this is also somebody that you are sharing responsibilities with in the work sector. Okay. So it could be a teammate, it could be a colleague, it could be somebody that you are starting up some type of project together. And I feel like there has been a lot of stalled and delayed plans, because I'm feeling as well that there needs to be a little bit of a compromise between creative differences. Okay. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But if two people are not able to agree on a course of action on how to move things ahead, then I feel like it's really, really hard to get everything done, because it's not a one man's job. Everyone needs to be on board. Everyone needs to contribute. Everyone needs to have like a common goal, a common purpose, and a common vision in order to move things along. And I just feel like there's something here that is indicating, there's a lot of compromise. There's a lot of like delegating responsibility and relinquishing control that needs to happen, as well as trying your best to try to appease the other person. Okay. So don't be too fixed in your own personal agenda. I feel like the time to compromise is now. The time to get things done and, move things along, and especially trust that the other person or the other people that you're dealing with know what they're doing, and that they are competent and self-sufficient enough that you don't have to, that you can trust that they will get there they will contribute, and they will, get their fair share of the work done. So learning to delegate, learning to contribute, and learning especially to compromise as to the vision of the project that you're trying to bring into the fold. There is as well, I feel like, I see people coming to you and they're asking you for things, like they're not physical things. They're asking you, how would you do this? How would you solve this? How would you resolve this issue? Is it A or B? And I see you having to do a lot of like research, digging into a situation, unearthing some information, unearthing something a little bit further, possibly reverting to or like perusing scholarly journals, large volumes of database. I see you holding a lot of physical documents, okay, like paper documents, files, data, even data on the computer, numbers and data, and just large quantities of information that you kind of have to sift through in order to be able to come up with a resolution, in order to be able to understand the ins and outs as to how something works, so that you can relay that information to the person that is asking you about this specific topic. So I feel like somebody is deferring to your judgment, and I feel somebody is telling you and asking you as well, like, they see you as someone who might be an expert in the field, whether or not that is true. I feel some of you might know a little bit about it, and so others might misinterpret and might defer to your judgment. And I feel like you might not know something, and so you're going to have to do a little bit more digging and a little bit more groundwork in order to provide them an accurate answer. And I feel like you're taking it upon yourself to do the digging, to do the research, to do the preliminary, kind of like stockpiling up the information, compiling the data, getting all the information together, learning things from your end, just so that you can feel confident that the answer that you give them is going to be the correct answer. So there's lots of people coming in, and I feel like it is going to be quite, a busy, as we round out the February timeframe, it's going to be a very, very busy time. I see as well contemplation about travel and movement, okay? Planning a trip, planning to come see somebody, planning to communicate with somebody, and then wanting to see like where are things going to go. So it's like taking the first step to initiate contact or initiate conversation, and then seeing where things are going to lead to. And this is Princess of Swords, Page of Swords in this deck. And this is all about communication, as well as Knight of Wands, trips and travel arrangements, as well as wanting to connect with another person in a more physical way. And when it's in the reverse, it's almost like the conversation needs to happen first before the plans will come into the picture, okay? So there is another message that came out when I was shuffling, and it's going to tie in with more of your love relationship sector, I'm feeling. So I see this man. He's walking in a very I want to say like it's a desert type of an area, and it looks almost like the Grand Canyon region, where the soil is very red and there are mountains and just really beautiful scenic landscape in the background. All of a sudden the ground starts shaking and the ground splits in half, and he's standing, like his 2 feet are like right on top where the land splits in half, and he has this split second to make a decision. Do I lean completely over to the left, or do I lean completely over to the right? And so as this is happening and the land kind of, splits off and kind of breaks open under him, I see him moving to the right. And when we look at these reading in terms of, tarot readings, the right always indicates the future. The left is always, usually the past. Okay, so the fact that he's jumping towards, as the land splits up, he's jumping towards the right, indicates to me that you're at a point where you're willing to move ahead and you're willing to grab up new opportunities. And the way that this is playing out, I feel, in your love relationship sector is you could potentially have two people that are you're choosing between. The first one might be a water sign, a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. And this is somebody that brings you a lot of stability. It's very status quo. And the thing about earth signs and water signs is that they complement each other very well. And the earth sign provides that security and that physical security, whereas the water sign provides the emotional security. So together, earth and water signs in general blend and mesh really, really well. Okay, so I feel like that might be somebody that is in the here and now, or either in the past, or you've had a lot of shared history with. And there's some major shakeup that's coming into the picture where you are trying to figure out, is this connection still worthwhile? Is this something that I should move forward with? And is this something that is still bringing me emotional happiness? And then on the other hand, we have a new person that you might have as well have known for a while too. So we have here the Page of Swords as well as the Queen of Swords. And both of these indicate this is somebody that you are still communicating very heavily with, okay? Air sign, air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. This is someone, needless to say, air signs. They're very, very, very intelligent. They're witty, they're funny, they're crafty, they're very creative. You can have a multitude, like multiple conversations with this person. They are intellectually stimulating to be around. They're interesting to talk to. But the connection, it doesn't really get very, very deep. And that's the nature between the interaction between you, an earth sign, and an air sign. With you and the water sign, the communication and the conversations and the topics can get very, very deep and can feel very emotionally embedded. Whereas with the air sign, conversations tend to be a little bit more on the superficial end. And until you learn to put your guard down, until you learn to, okay, let's not keep scores, let's not be petty, let me be a little bit more open-hearted and open-armed when I am interacting with this person. Until you learn to do that, air signs don't really open up until they feel secure and until they feel safe. So between you and between the interaction between you and this air sign, I feel almost like there might have been some type of a stop go, like green light, red light. There might be a lot of things swirling in your environment, in their environment as well, that is hindering your ability to connect with each other. So for example, you might catch each other at inopportune moments. Okay, you're busy, they're busy. When you're not busy, you come to them, they're busy. When they're not busy and they come to you, you're busy. So it seems like energetically, it's like I see almost like two polar opposites, like magnets, the poles of the magnets where they kind of repel each other. And then I feel like there aren't enough ideological differences either. So when the two of you talk, you dwell a little bit too much on the differences. And because of that, the communication, it's a little bit kind of like blocked. And as a result of it, you can't really have these deep-rooted emotional conversations with one another. And then I also feel like because of that, you're kind of torn between two things. Which one should I, jump towards? Okay. So when I feel like this reading is all about boiling down to the fundamentals. Okay. Boiling down to like the essence of things. When we strip away all the exterior obstacles, when we strip away all the facade, we're left with just two individuals. And I feel like, you're kind of thinking about and thinking long and hard too, because I feel like you're really, really weighing out and measuring these decisions very, very carefully. On the one hand, you're clinging onto something that is very familiar, but once again, the ground is shaking from under you. It's almost like that carpet, that rug being pulled out from under you very, very slowly, and it's like you're resisting the pull. And if you ever play, tug of war, even with a dog or with another person, it's sort of like you have to kind of gently pull and ease your way out. And I feel like that's what's happening. It's like you're hanging on so tightly that the other person, or the universe even, has to kind of like readjust the rug and then kind of like gently pivot it in order to move it away from you. And then when that happens, it's just a matter of, which direction are you going to go. And what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing many of you are doing, this is the Magician. I'm seeing many of you are doing research into a specific thing, and you're keeping things very, very under wraps, very hush hush. And what I saw when I saw this card is I'm thinking about like somebody who could potentially be thinking about separation, about divorce, about like child custody, studying up on the rules and regulations and laws about like, okay, if I were to divorce, how much is my the person I'm with gonna get? How much do I have to pay in alimony? How much do I have to pay in child support? Or likewise, if I were to get a divorce, how much does the other person need to pay me every month? So I'm seeing something being done like very under the radar with this card as it relates to joint finances and assets and how to extract it so that we don't lose a lot of our financial base. Okay. And we have as well the Hierophant. And the Hierophant with the Magician, I feel like there is a very karmic type of an energy here. And I feel like it's definitely split up. The Magician is very much about, experimentation, trying something new, not sticking to social expectations, family expectations, the social order, doing something that is a little bit more like avant-garde, doing something that is a little bit more trailblazing. And let's be honest, you guys are not, risk takers, but I feel like there's a situation here where you just feel like it's not bringing you emotional happiness anymore, and you're trying to remove yourself from it. But in the meantime, before you decide and to physically remove yourself from it, you're studying up on the laws, you're studying up on, where can I go after this? What should I be doing? And what is the best optimal way for me to do this so I can have like the best optimal outcome? And then I also feel on this, with this Hierophant, it's almost like, do I want to, do something completely different, like deviate from the crowd, or do I want to follow the herd? And I feel many of you have been following the herd for a little bit too long. And now you're at a point where you're strategically thinking as well, what's the next step for me? What can I do to invite a little bit more fun, spontaneity, as well as living my life more so for me rather than appeasing other people? And this is an energy that I felt have been coming in for you guys for a while. With this Hierophant energy, this is your card. And it usually denotes to me, I see this little lamb here, sacrifices, okay? Making personal sacrifices in order to follow tradition, in order to play it safe, in order to do things that are socially or even, just culturally, or that family, friends, loved ones, society expects of us. And in the meantime, this little lamb, we are kind of like sacrificing our wants and our needs because we feel like it is too selfish of us to behave in a way where we do things only for ourselves. So I feel like you're grappling with this major dilemma, and that could be the two sides of the equation. Like, as the ground splits up from under him, where is he going to go? Is he going to go back to the status quo, or is he going to try to trailblaze and do something new and do something that would be emotionally exhilarating for him without having the guilt associated with making decisions for myself, living for myself? And so I feel like you're grappling with that decision, that sense of like, is it selfish of me to do things that make me feel good? Because this whole time I've been doing things that is expected of me. And now I have an opportunity, I have a chance to kind of like do something brand new and different and drastic. Are other people going to tell me that I'm being impulsive or selfish or foolish? Okay. And so you're still mulling this situation through, and I feel like you're going to be getting a nudge, getting communication from someone that is very exhilarating. Not only are they kind of like free spirited and freedom loving, but I also feel like they're not reckless. And there is an element here about you kind of like admiring them, looking up to them, and feeling like they have the life that you want, or they have the energy that you want to be associated with. So I feel like the I guess like I guess like the spiritual advice is that there is going to be a message coming through in another through another person. So while you're grappling with this decision, somebody's going to come in and they're going to tell you, they're going to like unexpectedly be a messenger, and they're going to tell you what you should do. So for example, you're contemplating, okay, should I take my family to south of France this winter? Yeah, or summer. Should I take my family to the south of France this summer? Or should I vacation in Bali by myself? And then somebody comes in and they're like, oh yeah, I was in Bali with a group of friends, and it was really, really beautiful. The people, the culture, the climate, everything was just sublime. And I feel like that's kind of like your signal from the universe, okay? Or you could be in a situation where you're just like, should I go to, that really prestigious university, even though I'm going to graduate with a lot in student loans because school is expensive? Or should I go to this university that promised me a free ride scholarship, even though they are a lower tier university and the reputation isn't as prestigious? And then somebody comes in and they tell you, oh yeah, I went to, that university option B. I love the staff. I love the sports team. I love the city. And even though I was afraid that after I graduated, it's not a very prestigious university, I was still able to land a really, really good job, even though all of my friends have been to, Ivy League schools, and they graduated with a lot in student loan debt, and they were really stressed out about finding work. And I feel like that's going to be your sign. Okay, so you have an unexpected messenger coming in to kind of steer you in the right direction. Really look out for the signs as we round out the month of February, because I feel like your happiness is hinging on something, a decision that you have been mulling over for a really, really, really long time. And you've been looking possibly in the wrong places for advice, asking family members who have expectations of you, asking friends who see you a specific way. Okay. And then I feel like this is spiritual advice that has to come in through unexpected people in very unexpected, almost synchronistic ways, so that you can be sure that it's a signal that the universe is sending just for you. Okay.